Yo, what's up, everybody? You know who it is. It's your big head brother like no other. Welcome to the UMOJA Health, Wellness, and Justice Collective Center. Right now, we about to get you. Y'all get ready, because we get ready to hit you with A-B conversations where you can see your way in. Let's go.
Hey. What's up, everybody? We're going to go ahead and get this thing cranking.
Let's do it. I'm Aaron Griffin, the Funk.
Hey.
I'm Angela Goo.
In the house. Beth Ivy Craig. What's up, y'all?
Tony Walker Jr.
Yay! Alice Dixon, the barber. Yes.
And Kelly White.
Talk about these women, their sons, and how they make them their men. Are we going to talk about that? Touch on that?
Yes, touch it.
All right. Who touch it first?
Yes, about how women turn their sons into their men,
So to speak.
and make them the kings of the house. And when they're not old enough to make decisions for themselves. So we want to talk about that, and we'll start. I would like to have the gentleman's opinion about that subject.
The gentleman's.
Gentlemen.
Okay,
Yes.
that's serious.
I would say I think it could be a lady like in a career with a little young kid. So I'm still trying to grasp my mind around that. Because that wasn't nothing too common when I was coming up. It wasn't too common for that to happen. But I would like to put my input in it, but I need maybe somebody to start so I can get my thoughts going, because I can't really think about that subject, because I never really witnessed that too much.
Well, as a barber for 40 years, I witnessed a lot of mothers bringing their sons to the barbershop, and they treated their sons like they was their man. It was like they asked them their opinion, even though they weren't old enough to drive a car. And I mean, they actually put the power of the mother-son relationship in their son's hands. And then to see it backfire years later, for them to see those same individuals come through the barbershop, and the son calls the mom out the name and treat her like she's his woman. And I thought that was like I was like, no, that is not the way to raise your son. You raise your son, but you don't make him the king of your household, because if you're paying the bills, you are the adult in the situation.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think one of the most important things about this is the absent father.
Yes.
So it's like when you break the cycle, then things like this take place, where a young man has to assume the role of head of household. I was just talking to a brother, when was it, Saturday? He was telling me some situations about when he was 13 years old, and his father was, drinking a lot, and, no food, the bills, mom was working a job, and he had to basically raise his sister. And, quite naturally, he ended up going to the streets. And for 6 years, that's what he did. He took care of the home. It was tough on him, but to see him today, it was tough on him at that point, but to see him today, it's like, in some kind of weird way, I don't know, certain things seem wrong and bad at a time, but it also makes us who we are, so, and he's doing extremely well. He's married, got a few children, and so I guess it's a bad thing, but
What's the worst that could happen?
I think it just depends on, it's a delicate situation. It just depends on the household, because you can have a household that's strong and like say the father isn't there or whatever, and like you say, the mother goes to work and the son is the oldest. So in a sense, it can be an unspoken word, like you're the man of the house while I'm gone or whatever, and they can take it to another level and think they the man of the house. You know what I'm saying? Because that's been their role for so long. So I think it's a delicate situation because you can have it the opposite way where, like she said, the lady have a son and really think he can talk to her any kind of way and do whatever. So it just depends on the household and what's going on.
Okay, so it could turn out any kind of way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it depends on what kind of mother she is. You know, that's what
That's a huge factor. Yeah, that's a huge factor.
Because when you become there's nothing with having a great relationship with your kid, but when, as a parent, you become your child's friend instead of their parent, and you don't have some lines drawn in the sand of, okay, we can go this far, but we can't go this far because I'm still your parent.
Yeah.
That's great problems.
Slippery
Great
slope.
problems. That's big. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can slip on that slope.
What would be some reasons that a mother would allow that? Like, is it something going on with her? Does she feel like she don't want to bring a man into the relationship because she don't want a son to not like him because maybe he had a relationship with his dad and something happened with her and her dad, and then she didn't want to bring no other man into it, so she just kind of like, well, I'm gonna let you be the man of the house.
That would be a wonderful thing if that's the case, but after, like I said, being a barber for 40 years, I have seen women that have put their son in that position of being the man of the house, and then when they finally meet a decent man that is there for them as a family, he got to go to war with the son to get his respect and get his place.
That's right.
Get his position.
Yeah, because and we talking, serious war.
Yeah. That reminds me of the movie Baby Boy.
Oh,
Y'all
yeah.
remember that
Yeah,
movie?
yeah.
Ving Rhames.
Yeah.
Big Swole. What was his name?
You want some eggs, baby boy?
So that's what that reminds me of. Yeah. I don't know. When it comes to, I don't agree with it. I don't think it's right. I had a situation I was telling you guys, that me and baby daddy, went our separate ways, and so my son is 12 years old. And he's like, Mama, that's cool, because now I'm the man of the house. I said, no, you're not. You're not the man of the house. Yeah, no, what you are, you're a student, and you're a brother, a big brother, and you're gonna go to school, do what you're supposed to do. You better stay 12. So when it comes to when it comes to parenting and allowing your son to take that role, I think that you're opening up a can of worms down the line for him.
Right.
Because the responsibility and the heaviness that comes with that is too much for a kid.
Yeah.
It's too much for a kid. So what is it that he's going to have to prove somewhere down the line? Because he was trained to be the man of the house. And how successful would he be at that if he didn't have the tools?
Right.
I think there's an automatic, they take on that protector role of their mom. If the mom has been hurt by somebody, then they begin to take on that protective role. So not necessarily saying that they become that because they wanted to.
Right.
They feel like within themselves they need to take on that protective role because mom is hurt.
Yeah.
So a lot of that, I think, and even if she does find a man later on down the road, a lot of that animosity is, you're not going to hurt my mom.
Right.
You're not going to hurt the lady that I've been protecting. So there's a protective barrier with that. So, I mean, of course, when somebody comes along, it's going to be a little harder, I do believe, to let somebody take that on for their mom. For me, my sons grew up in a household with two parents. But even still, I think sometimes if you've got kids by, say, different dads, a lot of times that kid that doesn't have that bond with the guy who's come in, that ends up being a problem too.
Oh, yeah.
So
Big time.
they still feel like they need to protect their mom because that's not my dad. I still feel like I need to protect her just in case something does happen. So, yeah, it could be a protective issue too.
Right. Well, all right. About ready to wrap up, y'all. I can't do this mess, my brother. I'm steaming off my glasses.
So we gonna go ahead and wrap it up, y'all. Any final
Right,
words?
so that's so I think that this is something that if somebody would like, if people would like to leave comments or
Please.
ask information or share stories, and maybe we could go down this road again and talk about this subject.
Yeah.
But so we are going to.
Hey, to all y'all mamas out there thinking that your son, your man, your mom saying you're not my kind of girl.
So, Tony, what is your opinion about this conversation? Because you said you didn't grow up like that.
Yeah, I don't. I'm still trying to think of. Do I know anybody that I grew up with that even had that kind of authority to be the man of the house? And I can't think of none. I don't think of any of my friends that I grew up with back then. Like I can't think of none.
So kids were kids were actually
I know Mr.
kids.
Dennis ain't gonna let nobody.
Well,
Mr. Walker, the office was Mr. Gillum.
Well, I think what happens is those are conversations kids don't necessarily have with each other.
Okay.
And they're so used to, that's the way their household works. It's something they don't talk about. It is what it is.
It's just the norm.
Right, and you just know them as this is my buddy and this is my friend, but as people get older and you start having conversations, you come to realize there were a lot of young African American men that were the man in their household. By the conversations that they've had and the responsibilities that were put on them that wasn't necessarily something that they wanted, but they didn't have any choices.
Did y'all feel like y'all